Hello, welcome back. Welcome to my kitchen. Come in, sit down, and let me cook for you. I'm Tom, the Sunday dinner chef. Let's get started. Everybody, welcome back to this month's collaboration, #FryJacks. We'll get to that in a minute. Today we're traveling to Belize. It's a country that sits on the northeastern coast of Central America. It borders to the north with Mexico, Guatemala to the west, Honduras to the south, and is part of the Caribbean Sea. Now this also has, more to the west, has jungles and mountainous terrain. But today we're going to be hugging the coast and we're going to do some seafood from Belize. Let's get going. So in my travels out here in Las Vegas, I'm trying to pick out how I can get some lobster, okay? This is how they do it in Belize. So I'm going to go out, I'm going to bring my snorkel gear and see what I come up with. But I got to tell you something. Las Vegas and the Bellagio fountains, they don't have any seafood, and community service starts on Monday. I'm just kidding. You can find just about anything out here, but you got to go looking for it. But I took the easy way out. Today we're going to be using some northern lobster. We're going to be making some grilled seafood. It'll be grilled shrimp, lobster, and also I'm going to be making shrimp cakes, almost like crab cakes, but a little different. And I'll show you once we get into it. So right now, we are going to be preparing all the ingredients that's going to go into the shrimp cakes. And also, we're going to prepare some mussels. Now, today's mussels are going to be made with a Mexican-style creamy hot sauce for the mussels. I tell you what, you got to try it. It's delicious. Okay, let's get going here. We're going to be chopping up some garlic, about 4 or 5 cloves of garlic. You know I love my garlic. We're going to be cutting some celery into spears and then chopping them up really fine. You want this to be easy to chew and make sure that you don't have any big chunks of vegetables in it. I'm going to be using some mini bell peppers. I'm going to slice them up just about the same way. Now I'm moving fast forward in this right here because this is a long video. So I'm going to try to shorten it up as much as I can just for this collab. But you need to take your time and chop everything up so everything is fairly even. Also with the onion, I'm going to be using a half an onion, and we're going to chop that up, also dice that up fine. It's going to go into a saute pan, olive oil, a little bit of butter, and also I'm going to be adding in some Old Bay seasoning. So just, you can sit here and watch this a little bit and listen to some nice Belizean music. Now that red crushed pepper right there is homegrown, and I tell you what, it's pretty potent. Got some heat to it. Now, #FryJack. What is a FryJack? FryJack is a flatbread that they do in Belize, and it is like their staple. It is like their claim to fame, FryJack. It's a flatbread. As they're cooking it, they flip it over. Usually served for breakfast, but you can basically get it any time of the day right there. Nice FryJack. Okay. Now, into the pan here, I'm going to be sauteing this stuff up. Now, this is part of the mixture that I'm going to be making the shrimp cakes with. Now, there is going to be some crab meat in it, okay, but it's very fine. Also, I'm going to be chopping up some 1620 shrimp that's already cooked. And this is going to get added into a bowl, all right? Let it cool for a little bit as I chop up the shrimp and get everything else prepared for it. But what I'm using today is I'm going to have a secret ingredient that you'll see in a minute. Now, this is some leftover shrimp sauce that we had packed away from another dish that I made. Nothing goes to waste here at the Sunday Dinner Chef kitchen. So what I'm going to use is this base sauce right here, and this is going to be for the mussels, and also it's going to be part of the mixture for the shrimp cakes. Want to say crab cakes, but with a little bit of crab in it. But it's mostly shrimp in here. And this is going to be a unique dish. Okay, now I'm going to be adding in some crab meat. Now, this was a mistake when I bought this, okay? This is fancy white. This is very fine, a very fine mixture of crab meat. What I really wanted was the lump crab meat, but in a hurry, trying to fish for it in the store, I grabbed the wrong can. But it works. It'll still be fine. I'm trying to get that seafood flavor and embed it into these shrimp cakes that I'm going to be making. This was the longest part of this video was preparing to make these cakes. So I'm going to saute that down just a little bit, get everything gelled together, and then we're going to start putting this all together for the shrimp cakes. Now, 16-20 shrimp. We pre-cooked these. I'm going to pull the tails off, and then I'm going to chop these up to be bite-sized, a little smaller than bite-sized, so they all blend together. Now, what I'm going to do is, these are going to be put into ramekins, and we're going to bake them in the oven. Now I'm going to be adding in that crab now that actually cooked in that shrimp sauce. I'm going to mix this up a little bit here. You don't want too much liquid in it, but sometimes you can't help it. So here is the secret ingredient. That is pork rinds. I find it to be a little bit more tasteful rather than using breadcrumbs. I am also watching my intake of carbs because I am a type 2 diabetic, but that's not stopping me from making foods that I completely love. So, with that said, this is going to get mixed up, and as you can see, it soaked up most of the liquid. So, these are going to get stuffed into a ramekin 400-degree oven. They're probably going to cook for about a little over an hour. All right. Now, I buttered the ramekins just so, not that anything is going to stick, but give some of that flavor down in the bottom there. And just nothing but butter flavor. It's nothing better than butter. Butter flavor. Okay, now we're getting to the hardest part of this cook. Preparing the lobster. Now, there's a couple ways you could do this. You could take the meat right out of it. I'm going to put a skewer in it, but what I'm going to do is I'm cutting the back out of it. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull the meat out, put a skewer in it, and put it back into the shell, but I'm going to put it in with the top side towards the bottom, if you get my drift here. The whole purpose of this is whenever you're grilling seafood, you're going to see with the shrimp too, because it can get dry. So the whole idea is to keep it in its natural vessel, but I'm flipping it over to take the heat, and from the shell itself will cook that lobster. I'll turn it over, get a little barely grill marks on it, but you want this to be cooked as tender as possible. Is it necessary to have grill marks on it? Well, for aesthetics, no, you don't need it. You want it as tender as possible. So this is the way I'm doing it. So I'm cutting out both the sides, okay? And then you're going to see me take the meat out of it. I will be putting a wooden skewer into it, all right, and keep the shape of it. Now, these are small lobster tails. These are like 3.5 ounce lobsters. I was trying to find something bigger, but I just couldn't find it. Or if I did, they were very expensive. But this is the way it is. Now, if you see how it's inverted in there, that's back into its little vessel. and this is going to cook up perfect. Now, the sauce for the mussels. I'm adding in my my red pepper flakes. That's homemade. This recipe is from a restaurant we used to go to all the time when we lived in Tarpon Springs, Florida. This was downtown. It was called the Tarpon Tavern. Shout out to Tarpon Tavern if it's still there. The chef in this place, now this was a little bistro, so this wasn't you sit down dinners and stuff. This was all like appetizer stuff, great burgers, by the way. And the seafood was really good, but they made this mussel dish. They made mussels 4 ways, okay? This one here was the best. This really caught my attention. Now, it is with what they call a Mexican cream sauce, but it's got some heat to it. So, with that said, I'm going to be taking my mussels here. I'm going to be putting them into the pan. And also, I'm going to start adding in this reduction here of this cream sauce. And I tell you, you've got to try this. Very simple, very easy to do. And just let it cook down. Now, these mussels are, before anybody says anything, these are pre-cooked. They're cooked in their own juices and frozen. Pretty hard to get fresh mussels out here, and if you do get them, you got to be real careful because of the heat. So I buy these frozen ones, can't go wrong. And there's nothing wrong with them, by the way. Now, into my indoor grill, I am going to be setting up some shrimp. Now, they are U15 shrimp, and also the lobster tails are going to go onto the grill. I'm not going to be doing any basting on the shrimp or on the lobster because I'm inside my house and the smoke alarms will go off. We don't want to do that. So, these are going to cook up pretty quick. I'll be turning them over, and just before I plate them, I will put some of that mussel sauce on there. Okay, base them in that. I'm telling you, folks, this is fantastic. Okay, seafood is almost done. Let's set the stage here. Picture yourself a nice little tiki hut, right by the water in Belize, and they're starting to bring your food out. Okay, now what you have here is you have shrimp, also shrimp cakes. You have some lobsters, lobster tails, mussels sitting in some nice Mexican cream hot sauce. I'm going to baste the lobster and the shrimp with that, and we're going to get ready to sit down and enjoy this. This is unbelievable. Now, I had a little trouble plating this thing here because I wanted to show each and every component of it. All right, but I think this view right here is pretty good. Make a nice cocktail. At this time, I would like for each and every one of you to go down into my description box and check out all the rest of the collaborators who actually every month do a great job doing these collaborations. I really appreciate them. I made a lot of good friends from here. Now, if you do, make sure you leave a nice comment, hit that like and subscribe button, and tell them that Tom, the Sunday dinner chef, sent them. He's in Belize right now. Oh, and word of caution, all right? Please do not go snorkeling at the Bellagio fountains. You can't find seafood there. Listen, thank you, everybody. I'm Tom, Sunday dinner chef. Check back next week, and we'll have another great video for you. Stay safe, everyone.